So I got started with gratitude journaling when I first discovered the concept of mindfulness. I read about it from a book called The Miracle of Mindfulness by Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. And that book truly turned my life around. I was in such a bad place. I was still recovering from a really serious illness at that time, about 8-9 years ago. And it truly transformed the way I think and the way that I live my life today. It all started with that book. So I'm so grateful that book, and also so grateful for the author writing that book. Yeah, that's how I got started with journaling. In the beginning, it was just like on and off. It wasn't quite a habit yet, just because I was just really starting to get into it. Initially, I would write a few entries, and then after that, I also discovered an app called the 5-Minute Journal. So I started with that app, and so I feel like I've kind of evolved with that app as well, because like initially there were only like really simple prompts. So it would ask me 3 things that I am grateful for about myself, and then it would ask me like, what will I do to make my day great, and then my affirmations. And then that's what I do like in the morning part. And then in the evening, I will have a reminder to then write about my highlights of the day, as well as what I can do to make it better, or like how could I make things better. Initially, I think I remember we could only put 1 photo a day, but then it has sort of like evolved to like put like 4 photos or like 3 photos and a video. So I love it. You know, this is a daily ritual that I do. Like I get started with like meditation and or exercise, and then I would also then start journaling in the morning. Like I would take about 5 minutes, and then at the end of the day, when I wind down, I would write down all my highlights in my journal. It will also have like customized prompts where I could just add like, what can I learn? What can I release? What can I celebrate? Any other kind of prompts that you want to customize, you could add that in, and then I would just journal about those things. So my writing has really evolved from like bullet points. In the beginning, I had such a difficult time thinking of things that I am grateful for. And then I would just write like 1 or 2 things, or it would just be like water, or like having a roof above my head, my dog, being able to go to school or something like that. And it sort of like has really changed a lot. And I think that is also why I am really grateful for cultivating this habit, because right now my things that I'm grateful for has sort of evolved into like why I'm actually grateful for them. Like if I'm saying like a job, like it would be like why I'm grateful for a job. I would be like, you know, because it provides me a salary, it provides me stability. And those are things that I don't take for granted anymore, you know? So yeah, and it's sort of like my highlights, so I like would sort of become really descriptive short essays that I really enjoy just penning down every night. That is exactly the thing that I would do right before I sleep. So it really helps me to sort of reflect on the day as well, and then just think about what has happened, sort of like introspect, dig deeper. If I've had a great day, then what was the thing that made me smile? It is so therapeutic. And I think it's great, you know, to just pour all my thoughts right before I sleep, so that, you know, I don't think about anything before I sleep and when I go to sleep. So I thought it's a really brilliant exercise. So other times I would write with a more specific theme in mind, and that would just be like freeform writing. So perhaps I would give myself like 1 or 2 prompts to write about. It could be like, I remember when I first started, and there were times where I felt really, really lousy about myself. I read from a book. I can't remember what's the name of the book, but it had an exercise that it suggested. And it told me that, you know, when you feel bad about yourself, come up with a list of 100 things that you love about yourself. And then in the beginning, I had such a challenging time writing down one thing, like the first thing. I just could not think about one thing that I love about myself, or that I'm proud of myself for doing. Progressively, it gotten better. I could write like 2-3 things a day that I really loved about myself. After I sort of like made that list, whenever I felt lousy or I felt really crappy about myself, I would sort of like refer to that list, and then I'll be like, oh, that was what I wrote about myself like 3 months ago. That really comforted me at times. Being able to refer back to that list brought me a lot of like joy in a way that I just cannot explain, because like, how do I say this, like being able to give myself love, being able to love myself instead of finding love externally from people or different things. And I think that is so important, coming from a place of love instead of coming from a place of lack and then searching for love. This is something that we can give ourselves because we have it already. So sometimes I would also have like a really specific prompt or theme where I would journal about my goals for the next 3 years. Or it could be writing down a situation where I felt like I was really triggered, and then I would sort of write down what triggered me, why I got triggered, and then dig deeper into those triggers, into my emotions, and really understanding them. And then, usually that would give me some sort of like clarity to what I was experiencing and how I could sort of respond then to those emotions that kind of surfaced. So yeah, those are a few things that I wanted to share with you about journaling. Another thing that I love about journaling is that it is so easy to get started. All you need is a notebook, a pen, or a pencil. One of the more important things is to have a quiet space where you can really just sit down with yourself and focus and just also relax. And yeah, that's about it. It's so easy, and you don't really need much to start journaling. So I hope you start this beautiful habit, and I will be sharing more videos about journaling and how to journal with me. And I hope to see you guys soon. So take care and have fun. Bye.